Welcome to Heart Space, a sanctuary where the heart leads and intuitive service is honored. I'm Eve Alexandra Ruiz, a doctor who left traditional psychiatry to more wholly use wisdom of the heart, guiding visionary entrepreneurs to release entanglements, realign with purpose, and create lives of fulfillment in both spirit and success. And I am very happy to be able to introduce you to another one of our wonderful healers. Dr. Stephen Florez has spent over 30 years helping people heal through chiropractic care while seeking deeper meaning in life and health. His journey led him to the realization that everything is energy, inspiring him to integrate energy healing with chiropractic treatments. With compassion and professionalism, he guides patients toward balance, vitality, and a greater sense of wholeness. Thank you so much for being here, Stephen.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a
You're,
pleasure being here.
thank you. I would love to begin at the beginning, at least in terms of what when you were first making maybe connection with energy or had an interest in anything chiropractically related, even as a client yourself.
Honestly, as a younger person,
Hmm.
I always could feel energy. Maybe I wasn't aware of what it was. I felt a vibration, but I always could feel energy. So it kind of always pushed me off in a different path.
What did that feel like when you were
It-
sensing the energy?
well, first you don't know what it is. You just feel this vibrational pattern coming through your hands, and then
Mm.
put your hands over people and you can feel this radiance coming from them, but you're not sure what to do with it.
How old were you about?
I can't recall. Might have
Were you under 10 or were you a teenager?
hard to call. Might have been teenage years. So it's like, okay, what is it? What am I doing with it? How do I,
Yeah.
there's something I can do with it. And, we're all brought up a certain way.
Hmm.
Mom and dad have expectations. so, so you go to school.
I'm
Well,
sure our audience is familiar with that one.
yeah, school. It's like, okay, what do I do now? What do they say?
Hmm.
Go to school. I mean, the great, halo on the hill is get your college degree.
Hmm.
Okay, but if mom and dad have never been to college, they don't know anything about it. So you get your degree, you are either satisfied or dissatisfied. You go on and you try and figure out what to do with yourself.
Yes.
Some of us already have that path. Others of us don't. And after I got out of school, there was a lot of searching and wandering, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So I started self-help books, psychiatry books, got me into
Hmm.
mysticism, got me into Eastern religion and philosophies, started meditating. In fact, I think before I entered chiropractic school, I had probably started a year or two meditating.
Now, I went through, I minored in psychology, and I know I certainly didn't end up in that. How did you go from the
Well,
one to the other?
call me a bit of a weirdo, but I remember as a
I
freshman.
love it.
Yeah, as a freshman, I remember humanities class. There was a book we had to read on the Confessions of Saint Augustine or Augustine. He was a medieval pope,
Oh. Hmm.
and he had written a thing, and we had to write a paper on it. And my paper essentially was, I got the gist of the book was he was saying that evil is not technically bad; it's the absence of good. So it's like the absence of whatever God is. It's just missing in that thing. That's all.
Okay.
That's what I got. So I'm thinking. I look back to that and like, okay, my thinking was already slanted a certain way to begin with. It's just a matter of getting out of school, being dissatisfied, not knowing what to do yourself, that may have precipitated. Okay, it's time to start reading all these books. And all these years later, I read a bunch of books, got into meditation, got into the mysticism of the East, and some of those books, with the Tao of Physics, compares Buddhism and quantum mechanics, and they're kind of saying the same thing. I think it's the best thing
Hmm.
I got out of college. I understood the math of it, so I was able to go, "Hey, that makes sense." And it was a matter of trying to play with it through meditation. And then, I had a hip injury, I had a girlfriend, she's a chiropractor. So I went to saw him and like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I go, maybe I'll become a chiropractor. Went to chiropractic school.
Hmm.
And there are a lot of different techniques in chiropractic school. It's
Okay.
a matter of getting in there and finding out about it. Most people don't know about it. Some of them are more or a lot more detailed than others. And I always remember my good buddy Tom saying, because this particular technique I still use called sacral occipital technique. His comment, is sacral occipital technique the jumping off space for the bunch of weirdos that get into the weird stuff? Because there's a lot of different paths that come off that technique that deal in energy, that deal in muscle testing, that deal in this and that. You just got to be open enough to look at it and evaluate it. There was this one guy in the technique, sacral occipital technique, because they had a week-long conference in Omaha, Nebraska once a year. This guy,
Okay.
this guy was Dr. Reese. Dr. Reese was trippy. He had little circular discs he had harmonized with stone that he used as energy patterns to heal people. I said,
Hmm.
what the heck are you doing? And you see his work and you sit there and scratch your head and you know what he's doing. But he gets effects, he gets results. And he has a story of how he got this stuff. And you sit there and you scratch your head, you for real? But you're going to either be open minded and listen to him or closed minded and walk away.
True.
And, I think me and myself and this other guy, we thought, okay, this stuff sounds pretty far fetched. But tell you what, let's try it and see if it works. So we tried
Good.
and it works. So now you're like, okay, now I'm stuck with his explanation. I guess I got to believe it. And from his work, if you buy his explanation, and his explanation was fine when you get to know him well. There was this deity he called Mr. Morning, which would appear at the foot of the bed and give him information.
Wow.
And his explanation of some of the adjustments he made were like off the wall because it was like, well, there are 98, I forget what he called them, some kind of neural things that are not connected up properly. And by using this energy pattern, you'll meld them together. Now, there's no way you can go into the body and operate on a live person and find those things.
Wow.
But he had that explanation. And then if you use that particular technique that way, it worked. Now you're going,
Wow.
okay, maybe he is onto something. There's just no way I can 100% prove it.
Hmm.
So, maybe it takes some open mindedness to go there.
Okay.
And from him, you progress on through other techniques. There's best technique, which is bioenergetic synchronicity technique. There's a technique I use now with this called matrix, where the guy has they're mandala like patterns that you just call forth once you study them enough to energetically harmonize the body.
So, like each pattern has its own meaning or type of energy that can heal or somehow shift you?
Yes.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah. So these are all energy techniques you start incorporating and using. And I got to a point in both techniques where I'm thinking, you have all these patterns, and there's like booklets and booklets of these patterns. Isn't
Hmm.
there just one energy out there? Say there's only one God, right? Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And
One source. Yeah.
why can't we use just the white light instead of fractionating it so many times?
Hmm.
That's where I just started tapping things in of the pattern of the structural technique, making the body aware of it, then clearing the energy pattern to get the result in the body. Now I can still do the structural adjustments. I was well trained in doing all that. But I've noticed from doing the energy patterns, it works much quicker, it works more effectively. And from there, I can bounce into beliefs because beliefs to me are what structurally set up the body. Because belief is an energy pattern, it's your thought process. Your energy pattern from your belief creates an emotion, which again is an energy pattern. And I
So
think,
if I could, this is so intriguing. I just want to be sure that I'm seeing this right. So you show them this mandala that has a certain pattern so that they're absorbing that energy, or
you
you have it
can
behind you, or just in your
you,
mind.
you can do it in any number of ways. You can call it
O-
forth because you've looked at it.
Okay, so you can evoke
You
it. Got it.
you can show them the pattern. Muscle test
Hmm.
it. Muscle blows up. Well, guess what? You're not congruent with that pattern. So
Okay.
there's an issue with that. Like perfect one time. There's a PTSD energy mandala,
Mm-hmm.
and I was at a fair, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
woman brought her friend with him. He was like commander of a ship, so who knows how much he's been through.
Wow.
He's sitting in the chair. And
Yeah.
she goes, do something with him. So I go, well, I know this PTSD energy pattern. So I just visually, mentally brought it into his midsection. All of a sudden, he's
Okay.
pushed back and his feet come off the ground. And I'm
Whoa.
going, what are you doing? He goes, nothing. What are you doing? Okay, let me take this away. Feet goes back down. Put it back over his midsection. Feet go up. So I'm going, okay, we're, we're definitely getting a result here. There's an energy pattern that's going through. And since everything is energy, we're all one vibrational pattern. There is some connection along the way.
Mhm.
Is it my intent that's doing it? And intent has a big deal to
Oh,
do.
that's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah,
What is the cause? Mm-hmm.
intent has a lot. What is quantum mechanics showing us? Quantum mechanics showing us that it is the observer that creates a result in whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So we are conjoined energetically. I'm bringing forth an intent to use an energy pattern that'll benefit you. So there's already an agreement there, and there's
Mm-hmm.
already an expectation there. There's your intent.
Yes.
You know, face it, I'm not going to put on the devil's outfit and go in there and try, be evil towards you. No, the intent, hopefully, if you're a healer, is to, was it do no harm, right? You're trying to do the best for that individual. So if you have that
Mm-hmm.
intent there, hopefully you get the positive result. Because, like I was saying, thought creates an emotion, belief creates an emotion, which is an energy pattern. That energy pattern to me manifests in your body as the overall chemical makeup of your body. That chemical
Mm-hmm.
makeup then is going to allow the expression or the non expression of genetic material, giving you things turning off, things turning on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think is it Bruce Lipton that's done work in that field, where he put things in different petri dishes and it accommodated whatever environment it was and turned into
Yeah.
this or that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting into that energy pattern influencing the overall outcome of the physical structure.
So when you were referring to turning things on and turning things off, were you referring to at a genomic or a DNA level, or were you talking about physiological processes or chemical processes in the body?
Talking about the overall thought process the belief that creates the thought that creates the energy pattern in your body that expresses
Oh,
it
okay. At
as the
an
internal
energetic level.
environment is going to have a terrain. It's like growing grapes. It's going to have the character of that terroir, which is going to be expressing this gene or that gene. No,
Mm-hmm.
but look at it this way. It's like your parents have two kids. Let's say they have two daughters. They don't look identically apart, the same, because different things are being expressed, and that's got to be a difference in their chemical makeup, which comes from a belief. And that's the toughest part, I think, getting to people's beliefs. Because where do you get your beliefs from? Usually,
That's a good
you
question.
you grow up with them. Well, you grew up with them. I was reading something in a book where it says, from birth through the age of 3, you have no discernment of your thoughts. So you're just absorbing the thoughts
Mhm.
of the people around you, which is usually your family.
Yeah, we usually hear stories and
Yeah,
we absorb them.
you're gonna
And those
get good.
stories have an energy.
Yeah, so you're gonna have good or bad absorption.
Hmm.
And I think it was
Hmm.
Lipton I was listening to later on where he talked about what the Jesuits been telling us for years, like the 800 years. Give us the child, in 7 years we'll give you the man or the woman. He's going, for 7 years, then you're downloading programs. You're learning how to adapt to life and structure yourself. So you're really a composite of all these belief systems that have been out there that you've been exposed to, and you've made your own, and you've evolved yourself from those.
That's
So
a really a good way to look at it. I love that word composite because, I think of a mosaic immediately. All those little bits and parts are all fitting together beautifully to make your whole. And because it's energy, it's malleable. You can shift it, you can
you can
remove,
shift
you
it, you can
can
change
enhance.
it.
Indeed. Well, what I would love to get to, since you have really explained a lot about what you're doing, is in the few minutes we have left, would you like to share in particular a success that really showed you more graphically what can happen?
Graphically. I said we're talking about the guy who came in for another treatment. I decided to experiment on him. Okay, then I'll tell that story. I was working at another clinic doing work comp. Had nothing to do with really adjusting somebody. Had somebody come in. I was going to do therapy on him, and he goes, "Well, I do have metal in my body," and it didn't matter because we weren't doing the part of the body he had metal in. He had where the thoracic, which is kind of your mid back section, meets the lumbar, which is the lower part of your section, fused surgically. He had a picture. He had steel plates. He had screws in. And to
Okay.
me, it's kind of like you've just etched something in stone. You know, they did surgery on it. To me, it's like, well, I don't know if I can do anything now because they've already set in stone. I can't really manipulate that. But that wasn't the issue. I go, can you try something? I mean, if nothing's going to happen to you, if it doesn't work,
Mhm.
it'll be exactly the same. But
There you
you're
go.
here. So he goes, yeah, my low back's still hurting and my neck's really killing me. So I did nothing more than since I was initially trying this, I had not really tried it that much, muscle tested the base of his spine, which would be the sacrum, where it
Mhm.
connects to the two ilium. So you kind of your hip area. And his
Okay.
muscle went weak, telling me
Mhm.
that area was not stable. You lay him down, his leg length was off, which means the joint is not stable, it's not holding properly, so it is off.
Got it.
I go, okay. So I tap it in the top of the head. Tapping it in the top of the head makes the body aware of it. It's like putting it on the screen of the computer. It's there, body's aware of it. And after I did that, he goes, by the way, my neck's really killing me, like I said. Okay, I muscle tested the cervical spine. It blew
Mhm.
out, tapped that in,
Mhm.
found, I think I said the third cervical vertebra was out, tapped that in. And I just used this energy technique I'd learned about, read a few books on, found something on Facebook on it to clear the energy pattern. It's a very simple way to do it.
Wonderful.
It's called the Yoon technique. And I go, sure, let me try it. We got to do this. Cleared the energy pattern, laid it back down. His leg length was now even. And I'm sitting there going, okay, you have metal screws and plates in your low back. I knew your pelvis is off, but since you had surgery, I did not think I could actually get the leg length to even up, which means the joints have come back in the right position just from doing this energy technique.
Wow.
Low back felt better. But also, he said, as he looked at me strangely, is that the neck pain I had, it was like a 7, maybe an 8. He took it down to a 2 or 3.
That is huge.
I was like, okay, then maybe I'm onto something.
Mhm.
From there, I just started seeing what else I could do. Why can't I do a whole technique, tapping into the body, making it aware of it, clearing the energy technique, and going back and seeing if anything is still left over. The majority of the times I do that, everything is now strong. You can go back and test the hell out of things. Everything is
Mhm.
strong, holding.
Mhm.
And there I expanded into, okay, we're doing the physical structure. How about the beliefs behind that? So, ask a person, what's bugging you? What's going to drive you crazy? Who do you hate? You
Mhm.
muscle test blows out. So something is not working with that thought process you have. Take that thought process, tap it into the body so it's aware of it. And I've created these 7 volitions from listening to people like Lipton and other people that I test
Oh.
people on, like 0 to 3, 0 to 7, fear of retribution by omnipotent God. There's 7 of them. And
You
most
know, this is so fascinating. You have shared with us so many details. Our time is now up. But what I want to say to our listeners is, hasn't this been intriguing? I mean, there are so many elements that he's pulling together. There is the physiology, there is the anatomy, there's the energy shifting, there's the mindset. Wow. What are we missing here? There's so much going on. If any of you want to tap into any of this, look down below for where you can find him and when. You do remote sessions, right?
I've done them, yeah. And I just
Okay,
one for
so
Indiana.
if you can't physically come to where he is working once a month with us, then you can probably arrange, just reach out to him and see what he can do for you remotely. I want to thank you, Steve. One last question. Do you have a message for those out there during these challenging times? Anything that your energy is just waiting to burst out with since you have the stage right now?
Well, you say it's a challenging time. That's the perception. Is it? Depends on your outlook. But yeah, it's time for change in this life. It's
Hmm.
optimism in this life. And it's easy to get stuck in lack or stuck in woe is me kind of mentality. We need to change the thought process and get rid of that and be more positive in where we're going with ourselves.
I love this message. And on that top note, I want to thank everyone for coming to listen to this. And I want to thank you for sharing so much of yourself, your energy, and your essence. I want to say to everyone, until the next time we meet, I honor the light in you. Namaste. Namaste, Steve.
Namaste. Thank you, Dr. Ruiz.
Thank you.